media briefing today to discuss the arrest of a Clearwater Police Department officer. Officer Nicholas Paloma has been with the Clearwater Police Department since 2018. He was arrested by our detectives within the last couple hours for false imprisonment and sexual battery. The incident occurred early Sunday morning. Officer Paloma conducted a pedestrian stop on the victim. He's 32 years old, and it occurred at the Clearwater Beach roundabout. He engaged her in conversation, told her to get in his car. She entered the passenger front seat, and he told her he would take her to her hotel, and she could take care of the charges by doing things for him. Officer Paloma even made efforts to defeat our ability to track his vehicle. For approximately 30 minutes, Officer Paloma transported the victim around to various locations on Clearwater Beach, engaged in sex acts with her before dropping her off down the street from her hotel. I had to check myself for coming in here because I'm exceptionally upset about the betrayal of trust, the level of confidence that people have in our officers. It's exceptionally damaging to our reputation and the reputation of everyone in law enforcement. It erodes the confidence in our profession, and on a personal level, I know how hard we struggle to maintain trust. So for me, having to come here today was infuriating because I have to have this conversation with you. But it's an important conversation to have, and these are important facts to relay to you. I thought about it on a personal level. I thought about what we tell our own kids, what you tell your kids if you're ever in trouble, find a cop. So I have to make it really clear, obviously, by the fact that our detectives worked tirelessly since very early Sunday morning, that we take this extremely seriously. And it's intolerable in this profession, and certainly in the Clearwater Police Department. And that's my reassurance to you and to the victim of this terrible crime, that we are still putting every effort into this case to ensure that we follow it through to the end and make sure we have justice for the victim in this case. Clearly, I have to ask the next question, and that's why I put the officer's picture up, because we are still, as I said, actively investigating. We're asking anyone for information on this case or other cases to reach out to us at 727-562-4385. I've also reached out to FDLE and asked for their support in the event any other cases involving Officer Paloma come to light. I've got copies of the arrest advisories. I'm not going to get into the salacious details. That's not why I'm here. I'm just here to tell you that we have over 250 officers that work very hard every day to keep and maintain trust. And when something like this happens, it makes their job abundantly more difficult. But we have a job to do in this case, and that's to ensure that we prosecute this officer to the fullest extent of the law, and that we reach out to make sure we don't have any other victims of this kind of behavior. So as shocked and angry as I am, I still have a job to do, and that's to communicate those messages. At the conclusion of this, we'll have, like I said, the advisories, and I will answer a few questions related to this case, but I can't get into the specifics of the evidence and those types of things for obvious reasons. I can answer questions for timing and some of those other types of things, and I'll be glad to take them now.
Did Paloma work at any other law enforcement entity prior to Clearwater, and did he have any other incidents on his record in any capacity?
No, he didn't work anywhere else. I think he interned somewhere briefly, but he has no disciplinary record.
Was the victim in this case a tourist?
Yes, she was not from the area. She's invoked Marcy's Law, obviously, and we won't be releasing any information on her. But she's been cooperating with the investigation fully.
Has an incident like this ever happened in the Clearwater Police Department?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that, where we've had to arrest one of our own under such horrible circumstances.
You talked about he, I guess, turned off his tracker on the vehicle and you guys weren't able to see his location at the moment. How long did he leave it or he wasn't, able to be traced?
Like I said, I can't get into all those details. That's just an overarching synopsis of what we know. He made efforts to defeat our attempts or our ability to see where he was.
How did you find out this happened? Did the woman call 911?
So our officers, shortly after all this had occurred, were called to a dispute, and it was the woman and a friend of hers were arguing, and she divulged shortly thereafter that this had occurred. Our officers took this quite seriously. They weren't quite sure initially whether it involved a Clearwater officer, but as that unfolded, I was notified very early in the morning by one of my command staff members, and we immediately initiated a criminal and administrative investigation and placed the officer on leave.
Why do you fear that there may be other victims out there?
We have to proceed in the abundance of caution. This is a guy who, under the color of law, took this action, and we have to be very careful to ensure that we don't have somebody else out there. We just don't know at this juncture.
What time did she actually get in the car, do you know?
Excuse me?
What time did she actually get into the?
So I'm going to bracket this thing from approximately 2:30 in the morning till 3:20 or so. So that's that's the best I can give you based on what we're working with in terms of not wanting to divulge very specific details.
Is any entity outside of Clearwater PD involved in this investigation?
No. Like I said, I have reached out to FDLE in the event other issues come to light involving this officer, and they're going to support our efforts in that if it should come to light.
Is he in jail now?
Yes.
When he made the pedestrian stop, what was the reasoning for him approaching? Did he give a reason when he approached the woman?
So yes, jaywalking.
At the roundabout.
Yes, correct. Okay. That really will conclude it for today. We'll keep you updated with additional releases as more information becomes available. Again, this happened very early Sunday, and we worked diligently to get this done and move it forward based on the seriousness of the crime and the evidence that we were able to obtain.